Assalamualaikum and good day to Dr. Noor Azhar and my fellow classmates. We are from Group 2 and today we're going to proceed with our Oncology Journal Club presentations. So, we were excited to discuss an interesting article which is American Cancer Society Guideline for Diet and Physical Activity for Cancer Prevention. Let's meet our team. It consists of Nur Izyani, Nur Laili Alia, Nur Shamila, Ang Zekang and Muhammad Lokman Hakim. Before we start our discussion, I would like to give acknowledgement to the authors of this paper. The authors is Cherry Alaro, Cynthia Thompson, Dan Gensler and Susan M. Gapster, and the other authors who are involved in making of this article. This article was first published on 9 June 2020. The content of our discussion includes of introduction, methods, data, and conclusion. Let me start with the introduction. The central question addressed by the paper is what dietary and physical activity patterns affect Americans for cancer prevention. Individuals affected by a diagnosis of cancer experience physical suffering, distress, and diminution of quality of life associated with disease-related symptoms, diagnostic procedures, cancer therapies, and long-term effects of treatment. Making healthy choices and translating guidance into feasible and consistent diet and physical activity behaviors can be challenged for many individuals. It is critical to recognize that social, economic, cultural factors and policies can influence diet and physical activity behaviors. Thus, government and leading non-profit health organizations, which are American Cancer Society, World Cancer Research Fund, or American Institute for Cancer Research, have released cancer prevention guidelines and recommendations focused on weight management, physical activity, diet, and alcohol consumption. Things I would like to highlight here is the purpose of this paper is to investigate individual choices regarding diet and physical activity patterns for cancer prevention.
And next, for the research methods, we have three types of research methods that involved in this article in order to collect the data. And for the first one, it is qualitative research. This research is based largely on the multiple evidences of systematic review from World Cancer Research Fund, American Institute for Cancer Research. For the next one, it is cross-sectional study. This research also involves observational epidemiology studies, especially prospective cohort studies which to know the diet-cancer relationship. And the last one, it is trial research that also includes a few controlled trials, suggests that healthy dietary patterns are associated with reduced risk for cancer.
So the next one is data. This data is based on the central question, which is the recommendation for individual and community to reduce cancer. So for the individual part, the first recommendation that's stated in the article is to maintain a healthy body weight. They found a problem within the cancer patients of extra body fat, overweight, and obesity. So the obesity epidemic in the US, they found that 40% of American adults are obese, with 41.1% of women and 37.9% among men. And also 20.6% adolescents are obese, and 18.4% among children between 6 to 11 years old, and 13.9% children between 2 to 5 years old are obese. So the relation between obesity and cancer is they found that 10.9% cancer cases in women and 4.8% in men are diagnosed due to the reason of obesity, and the fraction of cancer attributable to the excess body fat is extremely high, where 60.3% will lead to corpus uterine cancers and more than 30% will lead to gallbladder, liver, kidney, or renal pelvis cancers due to the reason of obesity. So the second recommendation is to be physically active because they found a problem of physically inactive. So based on the research of physical inactivity behavior, they found that 60% of children, adolescents, and adults in the US will at least spend 2 hours watching television, and also 50% of them will use computer outside of school and work for at least 1 hour. And a person prolonged sitting time will tend to associate it with premature mortality, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and also cancer. So the relation between cancer and also physical inactivity is that it has been found that 1.5% in men and 4.4% in women cancer cases diagnosed in the US are due to the reason of physical inactivity, and 1.4% cases in men and 3% cases in a woman will lead to cancer death. And also, there is a strong evidence linking between physical inactivity will have a higher risk of colon, female breast, and endometrial cancers. The third recommendation for the individual part is to maintain a healthy dietary patterns, because they found that it has been estimated 4.2% until 5.2% of cancer cases is directly linked to poor diet. So they found a research about a multi-center study of dietary patterns and cause-specific mortality. So the relation of dietary patterns and also cancer is that 8% until 17% has a lower risk of cancer mortality in women, and 17% until 24% in men whose the diet is directly linked to 4 healthy dietary pattern scores, which are Mediterranean diet, dietary approaches to stop hypertension diet, the US Department of Agriculture Healthy Eating Index, and Harvard Alternate Healthy Eating Index. These 4 dietary patterns are mainly consist of plant foods, which are non-starchy vegetables, whole fruits, whole grains, and healthy proteins such as legumes, fish, lower in processed meats and red meat, and also lower in added sugar, saturated fat, and excess calories. So the dietary aspects also contains of other parts, which are the vegetables and fruits intakes, the whole grains, red and processed meat, the sugar, the alcohol, and others.
Yes, we have understand about the data regarding guideline or recommendation in the aspect of individual choices, and now it's about the community actions. So for the first recommendation is increasing access to healthy, affordable foods. The first thing is food away from home. The problem is food consumption away from home has been associated with obesity. Findings show that consuming food away from home, from restaurants, cafeterias, food trucks, and vending machines typically results in the consumption of fewer fruits and vegetables and more calories, saturated fat, added sugars, and sodium than eating foods prepared at home. In discussion, restaurants should ensure that their menus include a variety of nutrient-dense, lower energy dining options, including those for children. Employers including hospitals, healthcare systems, schools, parks and recreation centers, government facilities, and businesses can adopt voluntary guidelines to ensure that competitively priced, healthy food and beverage offerings are standard practice and policy. The next recommendation is increasing access to opportunities for physical activity, play, leisure time activity, and transportation. The thing is, shared use agreements. The problem shows that community-based school facilities can be an excellent resource for recreation, physical activity, and play in locations where there is limited space or private options are too expensive. In discussion, shared use arrangements can provide for many types of physical activity promotion spaces, such as gyms, walking or running tracks, pools, playing fields, parks, and walking trails. An important component of larger initiatives to promote healthy living, safe place to be physically active and engage neighborhoods, and to advance health quality. The last recommendation is decreasing access to alcoholic beverages. In discussion, regulating the density of alcohol retail outlets through licensing or zoning processes. And then, maintaining limits on the day that alcohol can legally be sold in retail outlets and on the hours that alcohol can legally be sold where it is consumed on premise. And the next is enhancing the enforcement of laws prohibiting sales to minors, including increasing compliance checks at alcohol retailers such as bars, restaurants, and liquor stores. And the last one is restricting or prohibiting promotions of alcoholic beverages in connection with sponsorships and activities that target youth.
To recap, we have gone through data where the statistic itself has proven that mistake in lifestyle choices led to complicated consequences. Those who are suffering from cancer, either undergoing treatment or experiencing the side effect of post-treatment, may significantly complicate one's ability to maintain a healthy diet and consistent physical exercises, facing multiple nutrition-related problems. As discussed, with the capability we have while we are still in good health, it is more relevant for us to prevent the risk of a cancer rather than cure it. Through the approaches and initiatives taken by the relevant parties, our community, friends and family, as well as all the guidelines and recommendations that has been mentioned in this journal, we aim to have a better understanding of the prevention of cancer by improving one's health quality through the healthy eating and active living. Focusing on making the right decision at any given moment, rather than delaying the actions that must be taken in the long run, is the path to a healthy and active lifestyle. Thank you.